From the PSIA-AASI satellite studios in Hood River, Oregon, I'm George Thomas. You're listening to First Chair, and we are checking in with Ben Potts, who is down in New Zealand right now. Ben, how did you find the time to meet with us?
We actually have a weather day today that both mountains are closed, so it lines up for doing a Zoom call a little bit better. Fortunately, we haven't had too many down days. We've only had a couple days where both mountains were shut for weather, but it's nice to be able to catch up with you, George.
Good to see you, and I'm curious about your hat. It looks like it says rookies, but I can only assume it says Rockies. It
Yep.
is
No, it
rookies.
says rookies for Rookie Academy. Yep. Dean makes sure to have the branding out there. So yeah, lots of rookies gear floating around.
So tell us where you are exactly. We know New Zealand, but you said both mountains were shut down. How is the operation there?
Right. So I'm in Wanaka, New Zealand, and both Treble Cone and Cadrona are the local areas, short drive from Wanaka. Most of our time we're up at Treble Cone. Sometimes if Treble Cone has weather that they're closed, we'll head over to Cadrona. Today is one of the few days, like I said, where both mountains have a lot of wind and weather, and we're off snow today. But we've got that built into our training program that we have some flexible days we can rearrange and still get 4 or 5 days on snow.
So when you get hit with a weather day, are you doing things like more heavily focused MA today, or things that are really off the hill, dryland training, things like that?
Yeah, we've got some indoor sessions that we're doing. Whether we're on the regular schedule or not. Depending on weather, we can move those around, trying to let people have some just some off snow activity time. But I'd say, definitely giving people a chance to do some of the other fun things in New Zealand and have a little bit of rest is really important too. Doing training on snow 4 or more days a week is a lot, and having a little downtime is important.
Now, I know you and I talked about Rookie Academy and you being in New Zealand back around team tryouts, and it seemed like such a long time ago, and now it's, into summer, you're down there. Tell us what Rookie Academy is again. How many people are participating this year, and just kind of go over some of the things that you all do.
For sure. So Rookie Academy has been primarily based out of Wanaka, New Zealand. Has been around for about 30 years. I believe this is the 31st season that they've run rookies training, and it's always been focused on instructor training. That kind of started with the idea of doing instructor camps, or what they refer to as their elite camps, performance camps, for instructors that want to have the chance to ski with national team members or top trainers from all over the world. And we all gather here in Wanaka, and it just creates a unique opportunity to really share ideas and spend a good bit of time skiing with each other, and really working on understanding what's the same and what's different. And I think the more we ski together, the more we realize we value the same things. We just talk about them a little bit differently between our different associations and different programs. And that's evolved into several different offerings. So not just those elite camps, but there's also several courses from different organizations. We're running a level 2 course for PSIA this year. And we've got a group of 7 people that are doing that. Total rookies participants, vary some week to week during the season, but anywhere from, a lower weeks, probably 70, 80 people, a bigger weeks, 120, 130, somewhere around there, for participants. And then the other product that we have, aside from our elite camps and our courses, is there are some of what's labeled like brunch camps or like weekend camps, which is geared a little more towards like not necessarily instructors, just advanced skiers that are interested in signing up for some training and want a little more intensive program than just a regular advanced lesson. They're there to dig in and be challenged a little bit more in that environment.
So what has your summer been like? I mean, you've got a lot of people down here that you're working with. Um, how did you prepare to head down to New Zealand? Did you get a break at all in between your teaching, your tryout, and then heading south? And how much longer are you going to be there?
So I've been on snow just about the whole time. There was a spring conference, was a few days off snow, and then I did have a brief break after that. I think I had about 10 days or so that I had off and spent a little bit of time visiting my family, and then um, I was working for Woodward, so it was right back to being on snow doing that, and it's a pretty immediate turnaround, leaving Woodward and coming down here to work with rookies, and I've got a couple more weeks with rookies after this week. Um, and I'm looking at doing a little more skiing after that before we call it a season. It's not all set yet, but looking at maybe stopping over at South America briefly, and then after that, it's going to be probably 3-4 weeks off snow to try to get ready for the next season.
So what do you do in that off time? I mean, rest and recovery is really important. You said it yourself. Or are you going to be really working out to get fit for the season? I mean, you already
Um,
are.
Yeah, I think skiing does a bit that keeps you fit, but doesn't necessarily keep you strong. So definitely having some training in there where you get some strength training in. I think that's really important for sure. Rest as you mentioned, and I mean other than those two things, just having a little bit of time to reflect on. It feels like a kind of a wild 11-month season. I think we're doing a better job talking about how important reflection is for learning, thinking about our lessons, but I think it's important that we find time to do that ourselves as well. And just this time with rookies, for example, it's amazing to get a ski with team members and trainers from all over the place, and we get a lot of cool conversations. But I feel like some of what I learned from those conversations takes place a little bit later when I have time to reflect on them and think about them a little bit more.
Now, your days seem pretty intense down there. Kind of walk us through what happens during Rookie Academy. Just a typical day,
A typical day.
if
So,
there is one.
typical day. We get up about 6 a.m. and maybe have a little something to eat. Do a little bit of warm ups here at the house, and then we usually have the trainers have a little pre meeting in town at about 7, and that's when we can check out the weather, what the resorts are looking like for the day between TC and Cadrona. We'll chat with Dean, who's the head organizer, Dean and Moogie. And then once we've got kind of that plan for the day, we head up to the hill. We get up to the hill just a little bit before it opens. The hill opens at 8:30. We're usually there around 8. Gives you a chance to boot up, and then the trainers head out on the hill and usually get a run or a couple warm up runs in, and that's one of our opportunities. We like to try to take advantage of some of that sharing of ideas between trainers, and I can catch a lap with another trainer and just ask them a little bit about what they're working on in their skiing and what they're focused on and thinking about. Um, and then but between 9 and 9:30, we're going to meet with our groups, get them out for training for the day, and we spend the day with them. Um, we're on snow till about 3:15, 3:30, and then everyone's heading back down. We get in the staff vans. There's a rookie bus that is transporting participants up and down from the hill, because it's about a 30-minute drive from Wanaka up to the hill and back. So everybody gets loaded up at the end of the day and comes down to town. And then it's kind of depending on the day of the week, we might have an indoor session. You might just have some time off. There's evenings where working off those indoor sessions, some of the trainees just have some studying and some prep that they're doing, especially the ones that are working towards a certification or working through a course. Just a little bit of everything going on in the evenings.
And then, so 30-minute drive up and back, you're up at 6. How much time do you get to sleep?
Uh, normally we go to bed early.
You do.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes we joke about it, and you get into the routine, just skiing every day. And as you're saying, they're big days, and it doesn't take much to be ready to go to bed in the evening and fall asleep pretty easily. So yeah, we're still getting rested and all that, but it's most days are a fairly early start for sure.
And then how much of a gap do you have in between classes? So you have each one goes for 6 days, you get a day off, and then the next one starts. How does that work?
Right. So our kind of weekly schedule we work off of is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. That is the usual training week, and then as I said, there's some indoors around that as well. But Wednesday we try to keep as our flex day, where if it's a clear weather week all week, we've got Wednesday off. As a training staff, we'll go up and just do some training together. Do a little bit longer session than what we do in the mornings. If we do have some weather, then there's been a number of weeks we've done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It seems like Thursday's been the rough weather day, so we adjust so we're not up there on a day when lifts might be closing for wind and such. And then we're back on Friday. Saturday's normally a day off snow. That's usually one of the busier days on the hill, and that's kind of a good targeted rest day for everybody. And then some Sundays we have some of those weekend camp groups going out. So it's not part of that week schedule for the people that are doing, say, like a 3-week or a 6-week or 9-week program. But if people are trying to sign up for another day, or some of the locals that do a weekend program, that's usually on Sundays up there.
What's the weather like down where you are when it's blowing pretty steady up on the mountain?
Man, George, it is deceiving down here. Like right now, it is sunny in town. It's very nice out, just outside my house here. And up on the mountain, they've been having wind and there's been some lightning. That was one of the main reasons why today ended up being a down day. And there are mornings where you get up and it's raining outside, and it seems like the weather is not very nice, and you go up to the hill and the clouds part and there's fresh powder up there. Like last Friday was a really deceiving, sneaky powder day where the snow was some of the best of the season. But it felt like it was going to be kind of a funky snow day. And you're always a little bit surprised with the weather and the snow.
What's been a high point for you this summer?
Um, last year was my first year working with rookies. This is my second season getting to come down here and be part of this team. So one of the highlights is just getting to come see some of the trainers that I got to know last year, some of the participants that I got to know last year that are doing the program again, like getting to see some of those people. I'd say that's definitely one of the highlights.
Anything you're especially looking forward to over the next couple of weeks?
We're kind of ramping things up towards some assessments. And just in the last week, seeing people continue to put things together and find a bit more success with what we've been working on has been really cool. So I think the next couple of weeks, there's a bit of excitement to see, where we can land at the end of our training program, and kind of see that finishing point for people is going to be exciting.
That's crazy to me to think you're coming back in a month or so, and then you've got just a month off, and the season's going to be kicking up again. Any advice in closing for those of us who aren't able to slide on snow at the moment, and how to wrap up our summer and get ready for the season?
I think just watching some good skiing, or snowboarding, or whatever sliding you're into, is a great way to get your mind warmed up for the season. Maybe watching a variety of different types, of good skiing or snowboarding, and just to kind of get that stoke back and get that focus back on what we do.
Love it. Ben, thank you so much for checking in. I hope we get another opportunity to chat with you from New Zealand in the upcoming weeks. If not, it's really great talking with you now, but really hoping to in the future.
Yeah, appreciate it, George. We'll talk soon.
All right, Ben Potts, team member joining us from New Zealand, from the PSIA-AASI Satellite Studios in Hoodville, Oregon. I'm George Thomas.